you can grow quickly if you just put your story out there and tell people what you're up to. And a lot of things can change really, really quickly. So I think the takeaway for your audience or any listeners out there is if you ever had any inkling of putting out content and telling your story, or if you know that you should be doing it and you're a business owner, but you're not doing it, this is 2024. Attention is the new currency. And, the days of going and raising capital or getting leads from your business and going and handshaking one coffee at a time, one lunch date at a time to raise capital, those days are over. And so if you're still banking on that, you're going to get left in the dust. I think like technology is always evolving. We got AI right now. We got social media. And so for the folks that are not utilizing it within their company, within their business, they're going to get ran over.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to compete.
That's really why we've kind of like started this. Me and Graham both have done a little bit of podcast stuff before we started this episode. And, we just kind of like had that realization when that podcast came out with you and Brian Lubin, like, man, maybe we should really just kick this off. And we just, wanted to get into it, and there's no reason not to start.
The podcast is the secret sauce, man. It is the secret sauce. So all the capital that we're raising, all the mastermind sales that we bring in, 95% of that is from the podcast. It's hard to build trust on a 30-second TikTok or a 45-second Instagram reel. But if you can get people to go over to listen to your podcast, that's where the trust is really built. And, we got over 100 investors now. We got WNBA players. We got folks that are doctors. We got folks that own, $500 million in real estate. We even got real estate CPAs in our fund. But it's hard to build trust from those short clips. And so the reason we're able to do it is because, if you think about it, people are listening to you on the podcast on the way to work, on the way to the gym. And so if you look at the different platforms out there, you got Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, Twitter, and you got the podcast platform, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Out of all those mediums, the podcast audience is hands down the most intelligent. They got the highest net worth, and they're action takers, right? And so those are why those are transitioning over to investors and clients of ours, is because those folks are the smartest, most intelligent, and it makes sense, right? These folks are listening to you on their way to work. They're trying to better their lives, and so those are the folks you want working with you, anyways.
Yeah, and I feel like it's not easy to be consistent, I feel like, but it is one of the easiest ways to do it. You just set up a camera, you sit down, you talk for an hour, maybe 30 minutes. And then after that, you can splice up, you can repurpose it anyway. So it's one of the best, most efficient ways I've found, because I've tried, a long form YouTube video. I've tried all the shorts and stuff, but, I think I made like 40 shorts, and each short was maybe taking me like 45 minutes to an hour to sit down and shoot. If it was like 30 seconds, shoot it, edit it, post it. But you do a podcast, you sit down for an hour, and that's 1 hour of time. Then you can send it to an editor, and now you can put it, like you're mentioning AI, you can put it in Opus, and that'll spit out 30 clips. And so it's like way more efficient.
Yeah, it really is. And you're kind of hitting two metrics. You're hitting your long form by having this hour-long conversation, or maybe it's an hour and a half, or maybe it's only 30 minutes. But you're also hitting your short form, because now you can, like you said, you can clip out shorts and highlights of that conversation, and then there's your short form. You almost don't need to shoot as much short form content anymore. And it's a powerful thing. And then lastly, I'll say this, if you are a real estate investor and you're not getting the deal flow that you want to have, or if you're just an entrepreneur and you're not making the kind of money that you want to be making, it's simply because you're not shaking enough hands. Not enough people know who you are. And so there's two ways to solve that. One, you can go out to the network and go find the network, right? You can go to meetups, you can go to conferences and that sort of thing. Or you can create something cool and watch the network come to you, like a podcast, right? When I go out and have a lunch with an investor, that's 30 minutes of my time, an hour of my time, and it's going out to one person. But on the flip side, I could shoot a 45-second video on my iPhone real quick and put it out on Instagram, and that could go out to 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 people. And so think about that leverage. And so folks that are not, taking advantage of it in 2024 are going to get left in the dust. It's going to be hard to compete with other folks out there that are utilizing the technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, the last thing I'll say is this, and this is a real thing. A lot of people tell me this. They're like, dude, I get on all these calls and people want to invest with me, but right before they wire the money, they're like, they look me up online, they look me up on social media, and they're like, hey, like, I like you and I want to invest, but like, how do I know I trust you? because they don't have any content out there. And, you know, the reality is everyone's looking you up on social media before they do business with you. That's just the reality. Even, and you could apply this to anything. It's not just raising money, but it's also like dating. Like you go on a freaking date with someone, they're going to look you up on social media. And so this is your resume and you should be putting your stuff out there.